Today's top stories at NBR: EBOS closes retail offer, DCI's second NZ data centre land acquisition, warbirds over Wanaka hit by Omicron red light, and there's more coming right up. Kia ora and welcome to NBR Today, a wrap of the day's top business stories from the authority in New Zealand business news since 1970, nbr.co.nz. It's Monday, January the 24th. I'm Paul Brennan. Thanks again for joining us. An unsatisfactory conduct finding against a former law firm partner who inappropriately touched two female colleagues will be reviewed after a rare New Zealand Law Society appeal against its own Standards Committee, with the Society pushing for the case to go to a disciplinary tribunal. Last June, an unsatisfactory conduct finding was made against a law firm partner whose name and workplace are confidential, following incidents that occurred between him and two female colleagues during work-related social functions. The partner, dubbed AP, was fined $4,000 and ordered to pay costs of $3,000, as well as paying compensation of $4,000 to each of the colleagues. The New Zealand Law Society applied to review that determination, saying the lawyer's conduct raised the spectre of misconduct and ought to be referred to the New Zealand Lawyers and Conveyancers Disciplinary Tribunal. Big healthcare and animal care firm EBOS has closed a retail offer to help fund its billion-dollar purchase of medical device distributor Life Healthcare, a first foray into Asia for the dual-listed Australasian company. EBOS set out to raise Australian $100 million through a retail offer in December. The offer was oversubscribed, with valid applications totalling about $412 million, so EBOS bumped up the offer to $171 million. Chief Executive John Cullity called the oversubscription an endorsement of the company's strategy and the acquisition. The company entered into a deal to buy Life Healthcare in December, its sixth acquisition in 14 months and its biggest since 2013. DCI Data Centres has acquired land in North Auckland for construction of its second data centre site in New Zealand, with construction on its first site well underway after receiving Overseas Investment Office approval for it last June. The new 5-hectare site will be home to one of New Zealand's largest data centres, and construction is scheduled to commence in mid-2022, the company announced today. DCI is owned by Toronto-based global investor Brookfield Asset Management and has already established two functioning data centres in Australia, with 4 more in development on that side of the Tasman. One of New Zealand's major aviation events has been forced to cancel for the second time in 2 years. Warbirds over Wanaka International Airshow, which was first held in 1988, traditionally attracts some 55,000 people over 3 days of Easter weekend and injects more than $40 million into the Southern Lakes regional economy. Warbirds over Wanaka Community Trust Chair John Gilks said the Board of Trustees was left with no option but to cancel, following the government's decision to put the whole country into the red traffic light setting, under which public events are limited to a maximum of 100 persons. And he says he knows this will be a huge blow for all those people who have worked hard to pull the event together, especially following on from the disappointment of being one of the first major events in New Zealand to cancel because of COVID back in March 2020. The full details of those stories and more are at nbr.co.nz right now. Tomorrow at NBR, Professor Robert McCulloch is back with his From the Ivory Tower economics column on why National leader Christopher Luxon should start marketing an inclusive prosperity for wider appeal. I'm Paul Brennan. I look forward to being with you again from around lunchtime tomorrow for the morning's NBR trending stories. Then same time, same place again from 5:30 tomorrow for another NBR Today.